This is my Big Jim Loquat tree, and we're going to be grafting, today we're going to graft Sugar Crisp onto it. So I wanted to show some of you the process. There's a old China doll graft there from about 2 years ago. Or a couple weeks ago. This was full of fruit. There's some more grafts on here. Excuse me, I'll get up in the canopy. There's a Jazzy Cyberneer graft. By the way, that first graft was a cleft graft. That one, I think, is a China White graft. See the graft union? That was grafted a few months ago. Let's get around here. That one is another China doll, so that was grafted last year. That produced fruit this year. Okay, so back to the video. This was China White, so that's a side modified cleft graft. Excuse me. See that? That was just grafted this year. So I want to show some of my scion buyers on eBay that this wood I got from a CRFG 3 weeks ago. So I just want to show you how the wood's still viable when I cut into it, how to tell if it's still gonna work for your grafts or not. But this is, yeah, that's the China doll. So see that? That's the graft union from 1.5 to 2 years ago maybe. And that produced fruit already. So, all right, let's get to grafting. Show you the first step. So I wrap the scions in buddy tape or parafilm, and I'm gonna graft one onto, I'm gonna cut this here, and you know, they're smaller than the rootstock, so we'll do what's called a modified cleft graft. It's kind of like this graft you see here. It's a cleft graft, but it's off to the side. So I'm not gonna cut straight down the middle. So I don't have anyone to hold the camera, so what I'll do is I'll do the cut and show you what it looks like before I wrap it up. So for the modified cleft graft, we're gonna have a smaller scion than the rootstock, so you want to just come to the edge there and do your cut on the edge so you're not going straight down the middle. Alright, so when you receive the scion, the bottom's always going to look dry. Doesn't mean it's bad. So what you want to do is, once you cut it about 1/4 inch up, you should see a moist end, and that lets you know that the scion is viable. So these can stay in the refrigerator up to 2 months. If you're a beginner, I recommend you graft immediately when you receive the scion. But let me show you what that looks like. Alright, to see that, it's viable because the end's not dry anymore. I was taking a camera minute to focus, but anyway, let me show you the next step. Just cutting the V wedge. We've already cut into the rootstock, and now we're going to cut this into an arrow shape, and you want to do this part as fast as possible so that this doesn't dry out. So I'll be back to you. All right, you see that? That's what we're looking for. So that's going to be a V shape. You want to keep it as flat as possible. I try not to touch it. I see people that actually touch it sometimes. Let's see if I can record this while I place that in there. You want to make sure one edge is lining up those cambium layers. It's that little thin layer of green on the edge of the rootstock and the scion wood. That's what you need to touch. in order to have a successful graft. So it should look something like that. And let me show you from the side angle. That's what you want. If beginners, you may want to tilt it to, as long as it contacts somewhere along that line, you may want to tilt it a little, kind of like that, to make sure it's touching somewhere. But I've got enough experience where I can line it up without the tilt. So that's a side veneer graft. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up, show you what it looks like. Okay, before I show you how the other graft turned out, I'm going to graft here with a smaller piece of scion wood, and these are about the same size. So now we're going to go right down the middle and do a regular cleft graft, and I'll show you what that looks like. Might be a better shot of what I told you a viable end looks like. So now we're going to cut it into an arrow shape, and this is just going to go into the rootstock. I may have to drop the camera and do this. Yeah, I need my grafting knife to open it up, so I'll show you in 1 second. Okay, that's what it's gonna look like before I wrap it up. So let me show you what that edge looks like. Yeah, I'm missing it. There we go. Focus. Taking the camera a moment to focus. So it's a smooth edge. The cambium green layers lined up. It's rootstocks. Sorry, the scion's a little bit smaller, but you still want to go with the modified cleft, because that's probably touching on both sides. There, that's a better angle. So from there, you just want to grab whatever you use to wrap your scion wood. Some people use paraffin. I like to use this stuff here. Alright, I like to use this here. Sorry, I don't have anyone to record, so I had to kind of just wrap it around and let it hang. But I'm still selling this on my eBay channel, which I'll link in the description. I may start selling paraffin again. But yeah, I use this to wrap the union. Some people call it grafting tape. I only like to use it to wrap the union because I think the buds push through buddy tape and paraffin easier. But this is a little more sturdy to wrap the union. So I started with a tail here, which the tail on the left there, I can only do this with one hand. So the tail on the left will come into play after I wrap the grafting tape around a few times, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. So you want to end up with two tails that you're going to twist around the union and wrap it tight. There's other ways to do this. You can use a rubber band or sometimes a clothespin to hold the union tight for at least a few weeks. With this method, you can leave it on until the buds push through. With the rubber band, you never have to remove it. With the clothespin, you want to let it sit on there about 3 to 4 weeks and then remove it. So I'll show you what both look like when they're done and wrap this video up. Alright, so there's your regular cleft graft. I'll nip these ends. It's June. Probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks, if it gets hot, I'll have to cover these with a paper bag or whatnot. That's how you do grafting when it's getting near summertime. In the spring, I just leave this be. I'll leave it be for a couple weeks though. All right, let me go around here and show you what the other one looks like. So that's the modified cleft. Same thing, you want to label, because I have 5 different types on this tree. Although I'm only selling the Big Jim right now, I'll be selling other kinds in the future. So this is a 5th variety called Sugar Crisp. So I'll do a before and after video next time just to show you. I'm going to do 2 more grafts, and I'm pretty sure at least 2 of the 4 are going to take. Last year I got 5 out of 6. So just a side note, This isn't an avocado video, but get all those Lamb Haas avocados this year. So I have other avocado grafting videos if you want to make your avocado trees multi-variety or top work a tree with lackluster fruit. Take a look at my channel. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thanks.